Hey guys, Brad here, and we're back with another issue of Star Wars Build the Millennium Falcon. I almost couldn't say it that time. Aluminum Falcon. Let's see, in this issue we get this nice piece of paper. It's actually, whoops, can't see it. We get this awesome piece of paper here. We actually get the back side of the hold area, which I'm actually probably going to assemble everything together in this issue because I think I can prime it while it's assembled, but I don't know. We'll see. We also have a piece of hull back here. We have a hull frame here, and a frame stiffener, and it looks like we also have the archways and the padded section for the the padded arch. So we'll get to that this episode. Should go pretty quick, I hope. And then as far as what the actual magazine includes, it discusses the upgrades and modifications that were made to the Falcon, which there's actually some pretty interesting reads in there. There's some things about visiting Naboo, which I think I might just burn these pages out of the book. I don't know. And then, well, I can't burn them all because then we've got some good information on the back of some of the other pages. So we've got some Falcon circuitry-based stuff, and finally Han and Leia kissing, and there's absolutely no explanation why the door is so different. Actually, let me see if there's a picture. Actually, I think there's one. I think there's one in the back here. So we've got, here's the door, or the back wall. We've got the two doorways, the pads, and then the hull frame pieces. So, but here's the weird thing. If you look at the picture here, you can see that the door is clearly square, and this is not, and that, I'm sorry, looks absolutely nothing like that or like that. I mean, the shape of the pads is similar, but that's pretty much where the similarities end. So I'm really kind of disappointed in that. So I would hope that there would be maybe like something that would glue over top of it later, or even if if somebody on Shapeways were to just kind of make a frame for that, it wouldn't be quite as bad. But that alone by itself looks absolutely awful. But I don't know. I'm going to reserve some judgment for now, and then we'll come back and see what happens. Because who knows, in episode 59, they might be like, hey, here's this little insert. And then we're like, oh man, we got to figure out how we primed the thing. So there we go. Issue number 15 looks like hell on earth. We've got 3 rings, another large piece of hull frame, and then I think we'll pretty much be ready to. I think this is actually a whole nother slice, and then I can't remember what comes with issue 16. So all right. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started here. I got to see where my borders are on my table so that you guys can see everything. Okay, I think I kind of know. So I'm going to pull out some paper towel, some sprue cutters, and then we're going to open this up. And yeah, so we'll get this back wall piece. We've got some screws. We've got some more self-tapping screws, some of the black machine screws, and some of the brass screws. That'll be for screwing all that together. We've got some more pieces of hull framework, which actually I think I'm going to do this first, and then we'll go. Yeah, I think I'm going to do this one first. Okay. So let's just pop this out. I've got my hull frame right there. I've got a couple screws here. Where is my screwdriver? There it is. Okay, there's nothing in that bag. Some of these bags have some pretty big holes in them, so you want to be kind of careful as to not lose anything. All right, so first up, again, we don't have any of these pieces actually bolted down yet. Oh, I'm assuming that this is actually going to bolt on the outside there. So we'll probably get more screws for that later. Or who knows, maybe not. So there's 2 screws here, and then actually, well, there's 6 screws total, and they generally give you like 1 extra screw than what you need. So I'm thinking that maybe we'll go ahead and screw down that stiffener right now. Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Man, this thing is gonna be so huge when it gets finished. It's just every time I add more and more stuff to it, it just grows and grows and grows. And you know, we're gonna have like electronics kits that go in it, and just all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm really, really, really looking forward, you know, as time goes on, to just watch it continue to grow and get even bigger. Come on. Get out of there. Come on. Okay. Wait a second here. I think this one actually has a burr in it. I'm going to need to kind of get out first before I progress. So these are, you know, these are just some of the type of issues that, you know, you might encounter while assembling the kit. I think there's just a little tiny. Is that it? I think that was it. Not exactly sure what I saw there, but there was something in there. Okay, that's going in. And again, you don't want to tighten these all the way down. Again, I always rotate counterclockwise until you feel kind of like a little pop. Let's see, where is it? Right there. That usually means that the threads are aligned at that point. And then once you've done that, then you can go ahead and do the rest of the piece. Or I'm sorry, screw it all the way down. And then, you know, once you have all those in, you can do the rest, and you are set to go. So I'm just going to back these out just slightly. Allow them to realign themselves. Actually, I just felt that one shift a little bit. And we'll screw this back down, tighten it in. Like so. So yeah, in the next issue, issue 15, wait, what issue are we at? We're on 14 now, right? Yeah, 14. So on issue 15, we're going to get the other rib here. The rib strength tight or stiffener, frame stiffener, whatever it is, and then we'll get this other piece here. So we'll have, you know, a full. I guess it's what, a quarter? No, 1/6. No, this is 1/6. So I think it's 1/4 of the Falcon completed there. So that'll be pretty sweet. All right, so let's get this thing. We'll get all the holes pushed together here. man, these things, the tolerances are so tight on these. It's just, it still blows me away that that they're that tight, you know, and they're clean tolerances too. I mean, they really, really got them down to a science. Well, I don't know about science, but okay. So this one is going to fit here, and it's going to overlap. And actually, you probably won't be able to see this in the video too much. And I believe I discussed this previously. There are little lips on the edges of each of these pieces, and so each piece kind of overlaps against the next one. So they kind of go together like puzzle pieces in a way, because they can kind of only be put on in a certain order. Or if you were to take them out of order, you would actually have to reassemble them kind of in a specific way, maybe by flexing the plate or something like that in order to get it to fit properly. So, you know, it's something to be aware of, but just the way that all these plates fit together is just amazing. It is definitely cool. Let's go ahead and pop this one back on now that hopefully we have this other piece in here. It might actually stay on here a little bit better. There we go. So there we go, kids. We've got another piece of hull framing and another piece of armor. So we're moving along. This is so cool. Okay, next up, I am going to set that over there. I'm going to grab my my kit. This is my inner hold, and obviously you'll see that nothing's really glued together. And the reason why is I'm waiting for my airbrush in order to do a lot of the colors. It's going to be the same way with the hallway. I'm hoping that it'll arrive towards the end of this coming week. I just have to wait and see and go from there. But we want to do some screwing together of the different outer plates, because I think once I have these all screwed together, I think I'll still be able to prime it. You know, I can just set it up, prime it, you know, from the inside out, and then it's not difficult to take apart and reassemble either. So I don't know. I just wanted to kind of put this together for you guys so you could see how it was going to look, since it's so easy. I just don't know 100% if I actually do want to prime, or I'm sorry, to screw everything down first and then prime, or you know exactly what, you know, how I'm going to do that. So I don't know. This one is a little bit trickier because you have to kind of hold the pipes in a certain way and then line this other piece up so that they go in, you know, properly. Let's there. Kind of have to, well, sorry, I'm getting it off camera here. It's actually like the little triangles aren't pushing down into their little hole, you know, slots. There we go. Okay, now we should be able to line it up a little bit better. The bottom one's not a problem because it kind of has a track that it sits on. It's the top one that's a little bit more temperamental, I guess. And of course I just kicked the bottom one out of the track. Here, let me move this around so maybe you guys can see better. All right. I don't know if there's a trick to doing this. I honestly do not know. Come on, get in there. Okay, there we go. Okay, all right. Now this one's falling out. But because of the way, each of these wall panels just fits straight down in there, so I'm thinking that, I'll be able to screw these down. And actually, I'm just going to put a few of them in. I'm going to put, let's see, there's 5 screws here. So let's just kind of put these together. They're self-tapping screws. And basically what that means is the thread is very coarse and sharp. And as you screw them in, it actually makes its own thread track to screw into. Now, once they go in one time, it's not really like a big problem. But if you're not careful on trying to realign, back turning your screwdriver, or turning it counterclockwise, there could be a tendency to strip out those holes. Now, on a model like this, that shouldn't really be that big of a problem, in all honesty. The reason why is if you get into a problem like that with a plastic model, all you have to do is take I've done it this way for years. Take 2-part epoxy and a toothpick, mix up your epoxy, and just stick it in the hole and kind of rub it around on the inside of the hole. And what it'll do is it'll actually kind of build up another surface layer in there. You let it dry, and then when you screw into it the next time, it should actually be pretty solid. All right, so we've got our two pipes in there. Now those aren't going to go anywhere. I can still disassemble this and take it apart in order to do all the priming. Nothing's really permanently attached, which is what I want. And then once I literally get all of the parts, all the hallway parts, and then obviously my airbrush in, that's really when I'm going to start to do the painting of all these pieces and doing some polishing and weathering and things like that to kind of hopefully brighten up the kit and add a little bit of depth to it as well. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just going around and tightening up some key screws here, or what I feel are some of the key screws. And just be careful not to over tighten these screws. Once you see that the gap is closed, you'll feel a little bit of tension there. You don't need to, really tighten these down like you would on a metal surface. And there's one. Let's see, this side I don't think is really going to go anywhere. So let's screw this one down here, and so I actually feel a lot better about this, the way I have this set up. I could put another screw right there to kind of straighten that up. It's not going to be that huge of a deal for me. So there we have it. I also, I don't have this top piece put in yet, but I was having some trouble getting this to seat all the way down. And I took the pads out, I sanded them down a little bit on the one side. It's still, you can actually see right now that there's probably a slightly wider gap on this side than over here. But once I'm ready to paint this, I'm gonna put some super glue in there. I'm just gonna hold that down until it's bonded. So, a minute or so, I think it'll be fine. From there, I'm gonna put a little bit of putty in these cracks here, here, and here. Let that dry. I'm going to sand that out, and then I'll probably take some masking tape and try to cut it out to this hole and just kind of set it down in there, trim off any of the excess, and then I'll just lightly prime this, and I think I'm just going to paint it kind of like a space gray. It's almost actually going to be this color, the color of the station, and then I have to go back and again look at some pictures and things like that to see exactly what I'm going to do. But once I get closer to painting time, I'll have a much better idea of what I want to do as far as that goes. And there we go. So you can kind of get better idea of what this is starting to look like. And I mean, this is a pretty massive piece of kit right here too. This is a model kit almost all of its own. Just for size reference, this is my old iPad. This is actually the iPad 2, and I mean it's sitting right, it's almost as big, almost as wide. So you can, in a way, it looks big, and in another way, it's still very small. And then I don't know if there's going to be more pieces up here. I mean, these pieces are just kind of wobbling around, and even if I glue them into place, they're still kind of going to wobble like that. So I don't know. And then again, I still have to put the seat cushions in, so I'm going to set those in there. We've got the padded archway that I have completed from, I'm not sure which episode this was for. I don't have it glued in yet because, again, I'm going to be spraying all of this and priming it all and dirtying it all up. So I want to do that before I start gluing any of these pieces down just yet. So I'm going to get to that. Next up, we have another one of these rings. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. And let me get my iPad out of the way here. And I'm just going to kind of, so yeah, it's kind of frustrating not having anything glued down. Yeah, so here's the little doorway piece that's going to actually fit right over here. Actually, I got it in backwards. One thing to be aware of as you're assembling, there's injection holes for where the plastic is actually injected into the mold. Hopefully you can see them there. And so you always want to put those behind, at the back, so that they won't be visible from the outside. Yeah, this isn't really going to stay in. I'm going to have to, put some glue in there and actually glue that in. Again, it's something that I want to do after I prime it. So, and then I can glue this in, and then I can paint this separately, paint the pads kind of like that tannish color and go from there. We have this piece, which again, there's injection holes. Let's see if can I focus there, please? Yeah, hopefully you can see like the little injection holes here. Again, those would be, facing away, so you don't see those when the little doorway is installed. And actually, okay, there we go. Hey, they've got the step up over here. They don't on this side. Actually, this one fits in a lot better. I kind of noticed that this one is not quite in as good. However, once everything's glued, it won't really matter too much because any discrepancy will be hidden by the little couch there. All right, so last part of this episode is the worst and most torturous part. We'll have to get our super glue and cocktail sticks here. Toothpicks, as I like to call them. Actually, I need to get a drink of water. All right, and I'm just going to go down. I'm going to cut each one. I'm going to get them all cut out. you want to use the flat side of your sprue cutter. If you're using flat, I was using wire cutters previously that had kind of a bevel to both edges of the blade, where this actually has, one completely flat edge. So it's gonna be interesting to see how sanding is going to be different on this ring than it was on the old one. I can already tell there's going to be a lot less material that I'm going to need to sand down, which is really good. Still going to require a little bit of sanding, but does not really look like it's going to be nearly as much. Hopefully you guys are seeing this. Okay. So I'm kind of just setting the two flat ends against the cushion and then just cutting. And just letting, excuse me, letting them fall out on their own. Okay. So, oh, missed one. Okay. So now we've got our empty sprue. This can just be discarded into the garbage. Okay, on to the super glue. So put a couple drops out there for right now. And I'll start off just like I did. Oh, I should use my latex gloves that I bought specifically for this reason. Dadgummit, I already got glue on me. Ah. Okay. Okay. Now this one is physically different than that one. That's weird. The other one, as a matter of fact, I'll pop it out here. If you notice, this other one kind of has like, whoops. This one has feet where this one doesn't. So this is the new one. It doesn't have like little pegs on it. So I don't know if we got the wrong part with the other one or not. It's just kind of weird. All right. Anyway, let's continue on. There I got a big dab of super glue on me there. Okay. I do have some super glue solvent, so if I really have a problem, I won't be really up the creek or anything. These are not nearly as bad as I thought they would be, and it's kind of a strange sensation putting each of these little pads on, because when I first saw them I was like, this is not going to be that fun. Then I watched people do it on YouTube themselves and complain about it, but to me it's a slightly therapeutic sensation to kind of glue each one of these little tiny pieces into place that come together to make these arches. I might be absolutely insane, but it's kind of nice. It's like, okay, we're making little bits of progress with each addition, and I can already tell just looking at the each one of the cushions that there's a lot less material that I'm going to have to sand, which is all right by me. All right. So we're right about halfway now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to go. Right? Yeah. Man, I'm so glad that these aren't just a giant pain. And actually, I think, it's issue 15. We've got to do 3 of these in a row. And, you know, I don't know if I'm going to do all three. I think what I might end up doing is just, you know, I'll record everything, but I'll just fast forward through it all. That way, you know, you don't actually have to watch me do this 3 times in a row. Some of you might like it. I don't know. I get a lot of people that they really enjoy watching like every single step. And that's something that's really difficult to do. I mean, even with my gaming videos that I do on YouTube, you know, people are like, "Oh, how do you do this?" And, you know, if I'm doing a tutorial, like let's say it's on the farming simulator, there's a program there called Courseplay, which you can kind of use a mod tool to actually program the course that you want a tractor to take, or combine and whatnot. And so I'll show an episode where I kind of go over some of the basics and then kind of let people go from there. But then at the same time, you have some people that are like, no, we want to see you actually go through every single step, and they enjoy it. I'm not going to knock it at all. But yeah, there are actually people that do like to see every little piece of minutia. And I'm kind of like that too, maybe in a way, just depending on what video I'm watching, I guess. But I can be like that as well, depending on what type of information I am. Oh gosh, what type of information I'm trying to learn. Oh gosh, here we go. Gonna have super glue everywhere. Come on, it's gonna be dry by the time I get it on here. There we go. 3 more. That. Now they're trying to get away from me. They're resisting. I'm gonna have to use my force power to get them on here. Okay. 1 more, guys, and we will be done with issue 14. All right. That was not that bad. We'll have to time it, see how long that took, but that really wasn't that bad at all. And I'm very confident that none of these are going to fall out. Watch one fall out. That would just be so... That would be embarrassing. And then we can just kind of... Again, I'm not going to glue this into place just yet. But, you know, we can glue it in like so. And, yeah, when we're ready to do that, we can do that. So anyway, actually this one doesn't really fit in there that tightly. So it just kind of boop, falls out. So you can see, actually if you compare the 2 rings now, you can see how much darker this one is. So that's because I've done a wash on this one. And I might even do another wash. Because, I mean, if you really look at the Millennium Falcon, it's a mess. It really is. It's dirty. It's greasy. There's, you know, it's oily. There's lubricants everywhere. And so, yeah, I want mine to look very dirty like that. And I'm doing some pretty dark washes, and then I'll probably take some isopropyl alcohol, since I'm using acrylic paints, and maybe just kind of dab bits with isopropyl alcohol just to kind of clean up certain spots. But, you know, when you look at the movie, you know, the pictures of the movies, it's actually kind of shocking how dirty the Falcon was. So anyway, we've got those done, and in the next issue, issue number 15, we've got 3 of those to do specifically for the corridor. And I think issue 16 we actually get the first lower piece of corridor, so that'll be pretty cool to get that. And we'll also be able to put you know, our last bit of framing here. And I don't know, maybe with issue 16 we'll get another piece of framing. I don't really have it handy, so. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed another episode and another issue. And we'll see you next time for issue 15. I'm Bradham73. Please do not forget to subscribe or hit that like button. It helps me out tremendously. We'll see you next time. Bye for now, guys. Ow!